Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca Gardner, and welcome back to another episode of Read Along With Me. Sorry, my hair is in my face. Anyways, so for today's episode, we're gonna be reading 5 chapters, and last episode we kind of talked about how if I could remember anything from last episode, I'm so sorry, you guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, so, last episode we were talking about how, in art class, Melinda, all of these there are these students who are like complaining about their subject, and Mr. Freeman eventually puts up with it because he wants these kids to reach their best potential. And he was like, stop complaining about your subject. Look over these books and study the masters. And then, it gets to the part where, Heather tries to convince Melinda to go to try out for a musical, and Melinda doesn't want to, but then Heather loses it and cries and complains about how hard high school is and how nobody cares about her and stuff, and how hard it is to make friends in high school. So, yeah, in today's episode, we're gonna be reading the part where Heather finally founds a clan, and she convinces Melinda to help, but that will be for the end of the episode, so let's get right into it. After last night's interrogation, I tried to pay attention in biology. We are studying cells, which have all these tiny parts you can't see unless you look at them under a microscope. We get to use real microscopes, not plastic Kmart specials. It's not bad. Miss Kane is our teacher. I kind of feel sad for her. She could have been a famous scientist or doctor or something. Instead, she's stuck with us. She has wooden boxes all over the front of the room that she climbs on when she talks to us. If she cut back on the donuts, she'd look like a tiny grandmother doll. Instead, she is a gluttonous figure, usually encased in orange polyester. She avoids basketball players. From their perspective, she must look like a basketball. I have a lab partner, David Petrakis, belongs to the Cyber Genius clan. He has the potential to be cute when the braces come off. He is so brilliant. He makes the teachers nervous. You'd think a kid like that would get beat up a lot, but the bad guys leave him alone. I have to find out his secrets. David ignores me mostly except when I almost ruined the $300 microscope by twisting the knob the wrong way. That was the day Miss Keene wore a purple dress with bright blue roses. Baffling. They shouldn't let teachers change like that without some kind of early warning alert. It shakes up the students. That dress was all anyone talked about for days. She hasn't worn it since. I slide into my desk with 10 minutes left in algebra. Mr. Stepman stares at my late pass for a long time. I pull out a clean sheet of paper so I can copy the problems off the board. I sit in the back row, where I can keep my eye on everyone, as well as whatever is going on in the parking lot. I think of myself as the emergency warning system of the class. I plan disaster drills. How would we escape if the chemistry lab exploded? What if an earthquake hit central New York? A tornado? It's impossible to stay focused in algebra. It's not that I'm bad at math. I tested the top of the class last year. That's how I got Dad to pay for my new bike. Math is easy because there is no room for debate. The answer is right or wrong. Give me a sheet of math problems and I'll get 98% of them right. But I can't get my head around algebra. I knew why I had to memorize my multiplication tables. Understanding fractions and decimals and percentages and even geometry, all that was practical. Tools I can use. It made so much sense. I never thought about it. I did the work. Made honor roll. But algebra? Every single day someone asks Mr. Stepman why we have to learn algebra. You can tell this causes him great personal pain. Mr. Stepman loves algebra. He's poetic about it in an integral number sort of way. He talks about algebra the way some guys talk about their cars. Ask him why algebra, and he launches into 1,001 stories why algebra. None of them make sense. Mr. Stepman asked if anyone can explain the Lang-Diddler's rule in the negative Hotchka theorem. Heather has the answer. She is wrong. Mr. Stepman tries again. Me? I shake my head with a sad smile. Not this time. Try me again in 20 years. He calls me to the board. He wants to help Melinda understand how we can work our way through this problem. Rachel? Great. My head explodes with this noise of the fire trucks leaving the station. This is a real disaster. Rachel, or Rochelle, clogs up to the board, dressed in an outrageous Dutch Scandinavian. I cannot read this word, guys. I'm really sorry. In an outrageous Dutch ensemble. She looks half cute, half sophisticated. She has red laser, smelly gray turtleneck and jeans. I just, this minute, remember that I need to wash my hair. Rochelle's mouth moves and her hands glides over the board, drawing funny shapes and numbers. I pull my lower lip all the way in between my teeth. If I try hard enough, maybe I can gobble my whole self this way. Mr. Stepman drones something and Rochelle flutters her eyelids. She nudges me. We are supposed to sit down. The class giggles as we walk back to our seats. I didn't try hard enough to swallow myself. My brain doesn't think we should spend any time hanging around algebra. We have better things to think about. It's a shame. Mr. Stepman seems like a nice guy. My parents declare that I am too old to go trick-or-treating. I'm thrilled. This way I don't have to admit that no one invited me to go with them. I'm not about to tell Mom and Dad that. To keep up appearances, I stump up to my room and slam the door. I'm sorry, you guys. Just had to swallow myself. I look out my window. A group of little creatures is coming up the walk. A pirate, a dinosaur, 2 fairies, and a bride. Why is it that you never see a kid dressed up as a groom on Halloween? Their parents chat on the curb. The night is dangerous. Parents are required. Tall ghosts in khakis and down jackets floating around the children. The doorbell rings. My parents squabble about who will answer it. Then Mom swears and answers the door with the high pitch, "Ooh, who do we have here?" She must have handed out only one mini chocolate bar to each creature. Their thank yous do not sound enthusiastic. The kids cut through the yard to the next house, and their parents follow in the street. Last year, our clan all dressed up as witches. We went to Ivy's house because she and her older sister had theatrical makeup. We traded clothes and splurged on cheap black wigs. Rachel and I looked the best. We had used babysitting money to rent black satin capes lined in red. We rocked. It was an unusually warm, wicked evening. We didn't need long underwear and the sky was clear. The wind kicked up, skimming clouds over the surface of the full moon, which was hung just to make us feel powerful and strong. We raced through the night, a clan of untouchable witches. I actually thought for a moment that we could cast spells, turn people into frogs or rabbits to punish the evil and reward the good. We ended up with pounds of candy. After Ivy's parents went to bed, we lit a candle in the totally dark house. We held it in front of an antique mirror at midnight to see our futures. I couldn't see anything. This year, Rachel is going to a party thrown by one of the exchange students' host families. I heard her talk about it in Algebra. I knew I wouldn't get an invitation. I would be lucky to get an invitation to my own funeral with my reputation. Heather is walking with some of the little kids in her neighborhood so their mothers can stay home. I am prepared. I refuse to spend the night moping in my room or listening to my parents argue. I check out a book from the library, Dracula by Bram Stoker. Cool name. I settle into my nest with a bag of candy and the blood-sucking monster. In a post-Halloween frenzy, the school board has come out against calling us the Devils. We are now the Merryweather Tigers. Roar. The Ecology Club is planning a rally to protest the degrading of the endangered species. This is the only thing talked about at school, especially during class. Mr. Neck has a steroid rage, screaming about motivation and identity and sacred school spirit. We won't even make it to the industrial revolution at this rate. I get hosted in Spanish. Linda means pretty in Spanish. This is a great joke. Mrs. Spanish teacher calls my name. Some stand-up comic cracks. No, Melinda, no es Linda. They call me Mino Linda for the rest of the period. This is how terrorists get started. This kind of harmless fun. I wonder if it's too late to transfer to German. I just thought of a great theory that explains everything. When I went to that party, I was abducted by aliens. They have created a fake Earth and fake high school to study me and my reactions. This certainly explains cafeteria food. Not the other stuff, though. The aliens have a sick sense of humor. Heather has found a clan, the Marthas. She is a freshman year on probation. I have no idea how she did it. I suspect money changed hands. This is part of her strategy to make a place for herself at school. I am supposed to be tagging along, but the Marthas. It's an expensive clan to run with. Outfits must be coordinated, crisp, and seasonally appropriate. They favor plaid for autumn with matching sweaters and colors named after fruit like apricot and russet apple. Winter calls for Fair Isle winters, lined wool pants, and Christmas hair ornaments. They haven't told her what to buy for spring. I predict skirts with geese and white blouses with embroidered ducks on the collar. Excuse me. I tell Heather she should push the fashion envelope just a teeny bit to be an ironic reflection of the 1950s, innocence and apple pie. She doesn't think the clan leaders, Megan, Emily, and Siobhan, understand irony. They like rules too much. Marthas are big on helping. The name of their group came from somebody in the Bible. The original Martha clan leader became a missionary in Los Angeles. But now they follow the other Martha, Saint Martha of the glue gun, the lady who writes books about cherry decorations. Very Connecticut, very prep. The Marthas tackle projects and perform good deeds. This is ideal Heather work. She says they run the canned food drive, tutor kids in the city, host a walkathon, a dance-a-thon, and a rocking chair-a-thon to raise money for I don't know what. They all do nice things for teachers. Gag. Heather's first Martha project is to decorate the faculty lounge of the for a Thanksgiving party faculty meeting. She corners me after Spanish and begs me to help her. She thinks Marthas have given her a deliberately hard, impossible job so they can dump her. I've always wondered what the staff room looks like. You hear so many rumors. Will it have a cot for teachers who need naps? Economy-size boxes of tissues for emotional meltdowns? Comfortable leather chairs and and a private butler, what kind of secret files they keep on all the kids. The truth is nothing more than a small green room with dirty windows and a lingering smell of cigarettes, even though it has been illegal to smoke on school property for years. Metal folding chairs surround a battered table. One wall has a bulletin board that hasn't been cleared off since the Americans walked on the moon. And I look, but I can't find any secret files. They must keep them in the principal's office. I'm supposed to make a centerpiece out of waxed maple leaves, acorns, ribbon, and a mile of thin wire. Heather is going to set the table and hang the banner. She babbles on about her classes while I ruin the leaf after red leaf. I ask if we can trade before I cause permanent damage to myself. Heather gently untangles me from the wire. She holds a bunch of leaves in one hand, twists the wire around the stem, hides the wire with ribbon and hot glues hot glues the acorns into place. It's spooky. I hurry to finish the table. What do you think? You are a decorating genius. No, silly, what do you think of this? Me? Can you believe they're letting me join? Meg has been so sweet to me. She calls me every night just to talk. She walks around the table and straightens the forks I just set. You are going to think this is ridiculous, but I was so upset last month I asked my parents to send me to boarding school. But now I have friends and I know how to open my locker. And she pauses and scrunches her face up. It's perfect. I don't have to choke out an answer because Megan, Emily, and Siobhan march in, carrying trays of mini muffins and apple slices dipped in chocolate. Meg raises an eyebrow at me. Thanks for the homework, Heather. You are so helpful. I scoot out the door, leaving it open a crack to watch what happens next. Heather stands at attention while our handiwork is inspected. Meg picks up the centerpiece and examines it from every angle. Nice job. Heather blushes. Who is that girl? She's a friend. She was the first person to make me feel at home here. She's creepy. What's wrong with her lips? It looks like she's got a disease or something. Emily holds out her watch. The watch band matches the bow in her hair. 5 minutes. Heather has to leave before the teachers arrive. Part of being on probation means she's not allowed to take credit for her work. I hide in the bathroom until I know Heather's bus has left. The salt in my tears feels good when it stings my lips. I wash my face in the sink until there is nothing left. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, a slick nothing. So, we kind of see here that Heather has finally joined a clan. And, she thinks that, Megan, Emily, and Siobhan were really, really nice to her. But, I really would like to ask this question for the discussion question of the day. Do you think that... So, In one of the episodes, I asked you guys if Heather was a good friend to Melinda. But for this question, I want to ask you guys, was Meg and Emily and Siobhan really nice to Heather? Because they kind of put her on probation, which basically means Heather has to do a lot of work, and they just treat her like she's their servant. So yeah, I just want to ask you guys this question, and I want, if Megan, Emily, and Siobhan are nice to Heather, let me know in the comments below, and also let's get the discussion going, you guys. This is why I started this series, so that I can interact with you guys and we can discuss about the book and stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you guys like the series. New episodes will be coming out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And don't worry, I will still be doing covers, but this is my way of branching out and incorporating reading into my channel, because I want to show you guys how much I really love to read. Okay, well, that's all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember to stay happy, stay safe, and stay cool. And I am off to the moon, and I will be back soon.